Hey everybody, welcome back to the Nidus Anarchy series. I'm your host Adam, CIO and co-founder of Nidus, and today we're going to talk about a hack on US-backed MITRE by China. So, not to get into all conspiracy theory land, but MITRE is a huge vector for an attack point, so I'm not surprised that people are trying to attack it. What I'm surprised about is that they got in. So MITRE, they're the ones you know them more for the CVEs, right? So CVEs are all of the vulnerabilities that get put out saying, hey, there's been a new breach in this software, or there's a new vulnerability in this software, you need to patch, whatever, and they come out. And they're all tied to the CVE. So the CVE's got a number to it, and it's all dated, and it gives you all the details, like what the level of attack is, how much of a threat it is, what it can do, and all what's affected, and version numbers, and all that kind of stuff. So the MITRE company, they are a research company that's backed by the US government. So they get tons of funding to put together this list and to keep track of everything that's going on. So obviously it's very important that this company stay very, very secure. So what's happened is, actually back on December 31st, they were breached through a zero-day exploit on the Avanti VPN that they have. And what happened was that, so this was a non-publicized vulnerability, right? So this, ironically enough, is this vulnerability wasn't sent to MITRE to be listed as a CVE yet. And so anyway, the 0 day is how they got in on December 31st. And then since then, they had complete access, I don't say complete access, they had a ton of access to their systems in a certain area called Nerve. And within that, they're able to then kind of traverse around within that one ecosystem and get a bunch of data and stuff from there. Now, they didn't realize that they were in until April. So they had 2-3 months to be able to run around and get information from these guys. Now, why is this bad? I mean, well, first off, it's bad. Any breach is bad. But this is most likely a state attacker, right? So this is most likely actually backed by the Chinese government getting in. Not terribly crazy, but still, just letting you know what's happening. Now, what's bad about it, though, is because of what this company does. So if these people got in and got, like, let's just say God mode access into their environment, at that point, what they could do is they could remove CVEs and make them as if they never happened, right? So if any vulnerabilities that they know about that they don't want the world to know about because they have great exploits on them, like maybe an Avanti VPN attack, they could erase it and show no signs of it or what the attack is and all that. So that's one thing. That'd be dangerous. The second is they have access. MITRE has all of the unreleased CVEs, right? So what happens is, like, let's say some security reacher finds a vulnerability in a VPN software. What they'll do is say, hey, I found this vulnerability. They'll contact the vendor and say, hey, I found this problem in your software. And then they work out an agreement. And then they'll say, okay, cool, we're going to work on it. The software vendor will then notify MITRE and say, hey, look, there's a vulnerability in the software. Here's the affected versions. Here's what we found. We're currently working on a patch, whatever. It stays private. While the known exploit is out in the wild, and there might not be an exploit, but while there's a known vulnerability, but while the system's getting patched, the CVE is not released out, because what they want to do, obviously, is they don't want to tell the world, hey, this software is buggy and there's a vulnerability and here's how to do it, until there's a patch out. So they kind of work together and coordinate. So if, let's say, some bad state actor got in there, what they could do is they could have access to all of the unreleased vulnerabilities that have been found and get access to that. And that would be crazy. You're basically getting a huge treasure trove of zero-day exploits that are out there in all this software. So they could get access to that. They can manipulate CVEs. They could change the data that's in there and say that it's actually affecting different versions, that it's not. So this is the CVE database that MITRE puts out, is something that every enterprise in the world uses and relies on, even vendors. And actually, just to piggyback on this, there's a new Google Chrome CVE that's out right now with a remote exploit that's massively bad. I'm not sure when it's going to hit to the channel, but it came out on May 10th, and it's huge. So you definitely need to patch Chrome. So if you have any Chrome, which is also Edge and Opera and Brave, and all those are all Chromium based, you're going to have to patch, because there's a new CVE that just came out that talks about this vulnerability, but the CVE just came out because Google just released the patch for it. So this is kind of that thing. So let's say China got in there, they could already have known about this vulnerability months ago and have been exploiting it in the wild and taking over people's computers. And maybe that's why my computer's not really working well today. So I don't know what it is. I'm having crazy technologically glitch day today, and it's driving me insane. Headphones stop working. my audio jack stops working, my email client stops working, the audio recording thing stops working. I mean, it's just like one thing after another today. It's just one of those days. So I'm putting it all up to solar flare. But in the meantime, there's nothing you can do about this unless you're using the Avanti VPN, in which case, yeah, you should probably check that out and get it patched up. But I just wanted to let you know, yeah, China's actively attacking, things like this. But it's not just China. I guarantee you every country is trying to do the same thing. MITRE is a honeypot of massive information. They're probably, being attacked from everywhere all day long. So no one's coming after you directly, but just to let you know, it's just a constant threat. It's a cat and mouse game, and this is right now the cat is finally catching up to the mouse, but the mouse, I guarantee, has a new exploit. We'll see what happens next. See you guys around. Later. Hey everyone, you going to Identiverse this year, May 28th and 29th in Las Vegas? We're going to be there, and we're going to make it awesome. How? We're having a scavenger hunt where you can win awesome prizes, hats, cool bottle opener, butterfly knives, awesome whiskey stones that are all custom branded, leather posters, a real weapon, and cool fun stuff like an invite to our private party. The way that you're going to find it is find these little poker chips all over the convention, tap your phone to them, and that's how you're going to start the scavenger hunt. Lots of cool prizes, and not everyone's going to be able to make it. Hope you can do it. I'll see you guys there. Later.